All right, welcome to the Cupid song analysis. And basically, technically, this score has a pickup measure. There's a pickup bar, and generally in a pickup bar, there's a note that brings you into the song, like 1, 2, 3, da 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 bum, and that's your downbeat. But that is not the case in this song. For some reason, it's scored with a pickup measure. It's not necessary, so it must be the software that generated that. So measure 1's non-existent. Basically, the song starts on measure 2 and 3. So this is formed around a G major chord, and as you play, it's going to go to the relative minor, which is 3 down from the root note. So if it's a G major key in the G major chord, your relative minor is going to always be E minor. If you go backwards counting A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, E, anytime you go 3 back, you're going to get to the relative minor, and that's always going to be a minor chord. And this song is based around the major and the relative minor, and then it picks up C, and it's almost in doo-wop fashion as far as how it's formed. So. And then, of course, our other mystery chord is going to be D. And again, 1,000 million songs with that progression. And those of you who've taken the shape class will recognize that that's a C shape, but it's not a C chord. It's a G major chord. It's not a C major chord. So what we're going to do is a partial C major, and that partial C major is going to be root note G. And then anytime you go to the next one down, that's always going to be a 5th down. Those of you who took the interval course, there you go. That's a D. And our third's going to be B. B. Also in this song with B, we have an auxiliary note, C, which is in the scale of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That's our... So we're going to be picking up on the 10th fret or C in this example. So as we start, measure 2 and 3, start with a C, an inverted G major chord with the root being on top, which always performs this in this direction. Anytime you have a root on your B or on your second string, the root's on it, it's always going to have that. It's going to always be that partial C or that full C. There's no other exception to that rule. Those of you that took the shape course know this already. All right. So as we play the melody, your finger can stay in this chord shape because the melody basically outlines the G major chord and its relative E minor chord of the song. This partial chord inversion leaves your little finger or your pinky free to do this sort of hammer-on into the melody. And that's on the 9th fret, from the 9th fret to the 10th. Okay, and it's also going to allow you to do that. So you're going to see both those actions in this shape in the song. So the first time you're going to see it, you're going to see this hammer-on from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. So here's how it goes. Cupid, draw back your bow. So you saw that little action happen right there. Cupid, draw back your bow. Now, here's where we'd have a little transition between this and then the next shape, which is a box shape of basically the D pentatonic. We're not going to get into all of that, but the main takeaway is that as we transition in the melody, we're going to take our ring finger and we're going to drag it to this so it leaves space to play the notes in this little box here on the fretboard. So, and how that's going to work is Cupid, draw back your... Oops. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go. See how pretty that works? And now we just slide it back. So what that is that's really... Oops. So that is basically the D shape. And those of you that took the shape course gets that. Or if you've messed with caged, you probably made that connection at some point. So anytime you're playing between a C shape and a D shape, you kind of see how it's the same G major. We're still playing in the key of G major, or the scale of G major and the key. And that scale is just extended in that shape as we move. So let me go over that one more time, all the way to that phrase, and then we'll get to the straight to my lover's heart, to where it just comes back, where the ring finger just slides right back. And that's what makes this kind of a fun little song, because you're going back and forth as you play. It's just, it sways with the song almost. So up to this point we have Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight to my lover's heart for me. And here's the very end of measure 8 and 9. We start to get our first diatonics, where we're going to start playing the melody as two notes at the diatonic at the same time, two notes, two tones. So, and that's where we get the double nines on the chart there for me. And then you got a 7 and a 7, which are the same note. That's kind of weird. I probably would have maybe done it this way. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to play it verbatim. So, straight. Okay, so straight to my lover's heart for me. Now enter for me. And now you're going to see why we keep these shapes and not try to play, because this makes it so easy to play these diatonics now, because we've already got the shape. We're going to do the exact same thing again, starting with measure 10 through 16. We're going to do the exact same process, even the shift. It's all the same. So now we go same shape, but in this time, look at this. Actually, look at your picking hand in the instruction. And now we're going to play two at the same time. And on the picking hand, mostly they're going to coincide string by string, but every now and then you're going to get a space between strings. And that's the nice thing about Calypso. You can kind of do that motion. That's the only thing you're going to have to know how to do with this. From here out, it's a piece of cake. It's a cakewalk. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly. Did you catch that? So we're just using the pinky back. It's the same process, but now we're using two notes, and it just sounds pretty. Your arrow fly. Now this is a little bit tricky, a little bit fun. Cupid, please hear my cry and let your arrow fly. And here I like to just do this. This is comfortable to me. I don't really care what two fingers you use, but I tend to just slide it up to 9 and 10 like this. And I like it with two fingers, but sometimes I'll play it straight to my, again, it's that pinky action, straight to my lover's heart. And I pick that up, and the reason I pick it up is just to keep it clean. So I might slide here, straight to my love, and I'll pick it up and put my two fingers down here. For me, and just bar it. So that whole phrase from 14 to 16 looks like this. Straight to my lover's heart. Do it like that if you want. Straight to my lover's heart for me. Alright, so however we get there, I don't care if it's this way. Straight to my lover's heart for me. Could be like that. Just however it's clean for you to play, you can bar it. Yeah, the main thing is you're going to want to now set your fingers up differently. Here's where we do our next transition and our last transition, and that goes down to another way of playing G off of the E shape. And we're going to borrow this part of the E shape. this, almost like a little partial F chord. Okay, and this is where it gets a little Caribbean. And here's, remember when I was talking about the picking where they're beside each other? Here they're gonna do that kind of action on the picking hand. So now Cupid, and again it's just going, keeping it. You don't have to move anything. Now you can use your pinky to play the melody here, to play the off notes. So now Cupid, and I'm sorry, let me back up. This is 17 through 18. So the breakdown of this chord, this G major chord, is stacked just straight up. It's G, B, D, G. Okay, so oops, those three make a G major triad, and that's a true triad. It's a G at the bottom, the root, and just go straight up. So as we're gonna play this, it goes, now Cupid, if you'll ever see that. Now Cupid is, I'm sorry, I'm singing the wrong verse. Now I don't mean to bother you, but okay. Now I don't mean to bother you, but I'm in distress. Very simple motion from here, and we just hit an open note here. So that transition on the 19th, it's a little tricky, but while you're holding this chord shape, just pull, just place your pinky finger, just drop, I'm sorry, just measure, goes like this. Now, in distress. And you can take your index finger, and we're just going to do a slide up on this. There's and that way it positions your fingers where you have plenty of room to do these other diatonics. There's a danger of me losing all of. Now we're going to slide back down to where we were. My Or I'm sorry, I do it this way. I just slide down. My happiness. But you could do it a number of ways. There's no real right or wrong. The main thing is just you have fingers there to play that part. There's a danger of me losing all my happiness, for I love a girl. Very calypso there. So that transition goes like this, and I put some notes on how to do your fingers there in the notes if you want to look at them. But I realize that even when I play this, I change it just a little bit from time to time, just depending how I feel in that moment. But the main thing is to get this transition from these fives to this group of twos and this. There's a four, and then you're just going to do this shape again, and we're going to do this consecutive string beside. I love a girl who doesn't. And this is the fun part of the song, in my opinion. Measure 3, the No I Exist triplet. No I exist. No I exist. Right? That's just fun to do, and I just take my 2. And this is a very common phrase that I use in country music, and it's just been used a lot. So, and it always follows that pattern. Knows I exist. And here we're just going to kind of do the. And this you can. Right? And this you can. And this you can fix. hopefully by the time we get all this edited together, it makes sense to you. Remember, when you're playing along, you'll see the shapes change on the fretboard graphics in the video along with the tablature. Remember, those graphics are from you looking down on your fretboard. They're not looking necessarily directly at the fretboard in the same position you play it, and I can maybe explain that better on a video. But basically, if it's this shape, it's going to be, the picture's going to be in the inversion of how you look down from the highest string down to the first string, from 6 to 1. So anyway, I hope this helps. Knowing especially how to move this ring finger back and forth in the melody, it's just easy to remember. So I could, because of that, there's a lot of it I can just memorize. Even though I've just gone over this, I could probably memorize a lot of it just based on knowing there's actions. And that's the purpose of doing a quick chord analysis of a song. So it comes to you, and then I know it's going to be roughly this. Get my fingers right again. Oh, that's where we did this. Now, I didn't even look at the music there or the tab, but I remembered those little mechanisms where we did this little slide up, this with that, or you could do it. Those are the twos. I remember going over that. And that, remember that? And oh yeah, I meant to add on that. That's an actual E shape. And then calypso again. And that's all from memory. And the only reason I even remembered that is because I went through those changes. It's not because I practiced this a million times. It's because I remembered the little mechanic things that we went over in those notes. That's the purpose of a chord analysis. It has nothing to do with practicing this song a bloody 1,000 times to you got memory motion. Let your brain figure it out so that you can free your mind to play this stuff. And just knowing the changes and the rough reasoning why we do these shapes. And that's for everything we go through in any of these melody education things where we're doing, if there's an analysis of the song, it's worth putting in the 30 minutes because it'll save you hours of practicing where you go, oh God, yeah, this one's coming up. It's tough. I gotta get my fingers ready. And I can't remember what. If you'll do the analysis, you'll remember basically the mechanisms and not the other. You'll use your ear more. You'll play the song. And that's why I always have a beef with people. I don't need to read music. It's like, no, you need that roadmap, especially if you don't know it. Now, do you have to play that tablature verbatim? No, you don't. But if you've got the basics and the mechanisms, you've got everything you need to make good music and not have to worry about memorizing songs and things like that. Now, this is a short song, but we'll do longer songs. And if you apply this, you'll have the same thing. So I'm sorry if I'm preaching, but this is why we do this. And this is what makes us better than just the average musician out there. You want to be in the 2%, not the other 98%. So anyway, my love, my peace. Love you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. And I really hope you see the value of this one. Anyway, y'all have an awesome day. And thank you for letting me teach you today.